Good morning and welcome back to Shadowrun Week on Gaming with ADHD. Today we're going to be using the weekend unboxing to take a look at the 2019 board game Shadowrun Sprawl Ops, where you will assemble a team of Shadowrunners racing against your opponents to score a huge payday and win the game. It combines elements of worker placement, push your luck, and pool building, and aims to give you that feel of the Shadowrun role-playing game. Now, this game was originally funded through Kickstarter, and there are technically two versions available. There is the Kickstarter Legendary Edition, which does have upgraded components and additional components such as character standees for all of the different Shadowrunners and different game boards, and the retail release with a single game board and generic standees. As I unfortunately missed out on the Kickstarter, we are going to be looking at the retail edition of the game in addition to the 5 and 6 player expansion kit. So, before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. While we are at the end of Shadowrun Week, I do put out a few videos each week talking about all sorts of tabletop gaming products and topics, and I'd love for you to come along and see what I have to share. Now, let's go ahead and get started. So, first off, we have the cover of Sprawl Ops, which absolutely screams Shadowrun. We've got an orc, street samurai. We've got, I'm assuming that is an elf and a dwarf as well. Some sort of holographic dragon in the back. Drones flying in all over the place. This is 100% Shadowrun just from the way it looks. So already I am excited about this. Now, open it up, and first thing we've got obviously is our rulebook. Now, 32 pages. Let's see, we've got an appendix. We've got a list of all the Kickstarter backers in a few pages. So in reality, we've got a Shadowrun background, rules appendix. Okay, so for our actual rules, we're looking at about 12 to 14 pages. So that's actually not too bad. One thing I actually do like is apparently they reused a lot of the art. So this is actually a listing of all of the different artists who have art in this game. So that is actually awesome. There are tons of artists here, and that's awesome. And I say awesome a lot. Isn't that awesome? All right, sorry about that. Okay, so we've got a lot of art. We've got our description on how to set up and play the game. Let's see here. All in all, pretty generic as far as a rulebook goes. So hopefully it is not that difficult to understand. We've got our tokens. We've got, let's zoom in here a little bit. So we've got our injured tokens. I'm assuming these are Nuyen chips. Actually, yes, you can see the little Nuyen symbol there at the point of the triangle. So a little hard to see. I wish that was better, but I mean, they're not hard to remember what they are, let's be honest. We've got some Shadowrun tokens. Not sure what those are for. Duplicated on the back. Oh, we've got a dock wagon token coming out. All right, so we've got the runner tokens. So these are obviously divided up into different Shadowrun teams. They are just generic, so we've got tokens or character tokens 1 through 4 for each. And it looks like they just went with cardboard standees. So little disappointing. Plastic standees couldn't have been that hard to add, but I don't make those production decisions. So hopefully not too big an issue to work with those. We've got dock wagon for when you just need that medical rescue. Okay, so that's interesting. Just 2 sheets of tokens. All right, we've got our board, which I believe is just Seattle. So they did boards in the Kickstarter for Tokyo, Germany, and something else that I don't remember off the top of my head. So please do forgive me on that. Let's zoom this back out. All right. So this is nice. It's actually got a holofoil board, which, the effect there on the streets is fantastic. I'm a little annoyed with the glossy nature of the board, but I don't think they really had a choice on that if they were going to do the holofoil. But the holofoil looks really good, and literally just the way that it looks on the map is fantastic. All right, so here the board is single-sided. That is a little disappointing to me because if they're making multiple cities, in the retail version, they could have given you multiple cities that you could work with. Let's flip this back over. And I only say that because my understanding on the additional cities is they don't change gameplay as much, but they make it very different because it does have the worker placement elements, and so you have to go to the different locations around the city. So being able to have a little bit more replayability by going with different cities would have been good, and I think it would have been reasonable to add that cost in. Again, I don't make those production decisions. And again, the glossy is kind of a problem with my lighting, so I do apologize for that. But overall, it doesn't look too bad from this side when you keep the lights out of it. But I really like how it looks with the streets. The streets absolutely look lit up, and that is fantastic. So, not perfect, but acceptable and understandable why they make those choices. Regardless, that looks awesome. Okay, I believe these are the final mission cards. Hit an Ares convoy, steal a shuttle from the Dragon's Horde, kidnap an Evo clone, access Renraku's offline hosts, rescue a ritual sacrifice from Az technology. Okay. Set those to the side. All right. Also, I got to say right now, so the fact that they went with a sculpted, or not sculpted, but a vacuum form tray, that's really good. At a bare minimum, it should make it easier to store all of your components when you need to put them back. So, a lot of games do not do that. All right, this card, I believe, is because it's got the push your luck elements with when you're rolling the dice. So I believe, so this is the final mission tracker, and then there are tokens for each of those symbols used to track that. Okay. Actually, while I've got it open, why don't I look at what the large cards are? Yeah, so those original cards, those are the final mission cards. I'm just going to keep that open right there for reference. All right. We have team cards for your runners. All right. Now, this could have done something a little better than folded cardboard. Maybe make it a little smaller. I'm not sure, but something that would have fit in the game without folding it. All right. Okay, that's actually kind of cool. Assets Inc. So when you've got the top flight reputation and are backed by a horde of a great dragon, shadowrunning becomes a little different. You don't get too involved in things like gang warfare, and you've got a little bit more pull with authorities than most of your peers do. Okay, this is actually fun. I don't think it actually... I don't think it will actually change the gameplay, but just the fact that they give you a little bit of backstory about your shadowrunning team, that's just fun. End of the day, if you do something that's going to make the game a little bit more fun, I like that. All right, so we've got collateral damage. Again, background information. The Wrecking Crew. I do not think they are the first ones to use the term Wrecking Crew, but okay. Ah, the Myths. Oh, why can't I? Rusty Zimmerman. Yes, that's his name. Rusty Zimmerman rears his head again. That's awesome. All right. So, those are the teams that we have available. All right. This pack of cards. Okay, so these are just regular mission cards. If I can get them open. I know, super, super exciting, aren't we? All right, so these are the different missions. Mitsuhama Public Health Hospital. Fetish Night. 405 Hellhounds Raid. Make some noise. So these are all basically the skills you're going to have to contribute. I only know that because it seems very similar to Crossfire. Crossfire, basically you are building teams using these symbols in a deck building format. So just changes up how those get used. Fulfill a Yakuza contract. All right. You've then got Shadowrunner cards, starting Shadowrunner cards, gear cards, and upgrade cards. So these are the loot cards. Looks like the loot cards are basically free successes. Or ignore injury, reroll dice, okay. Upgrade cards. So again, very Shadowrunny in what you're able to get. So even if you didn't get the Kickstarter edition, this game already is primed to be able to get expansions. It's got, obviously, a little bit of history. Here's your equipment cards. There were issues with the Kickstarter. Wasn't trying to go into those. But just definitely rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. But, you know, is what it is on that. All right, we've got our Shadowrunners. So we've got Sledge, Top Shelf, Lockdown, O'Malley, Sheena, Lucifer, Megapulse, Tamsin, Cat V, Neon Tusk, Toro, Raker, Glitch, Swipe, Lazar, Burnout, Twitch, Hardpoint, Mafan, Cayman, James Picard, Magdalene, Baron Samedi, Arctos, Corium, Sauron, and Poppy Seeds. You know, they could even do versions, you know, put in missions or characters or whatever from throughout the history of Shadowrun. I mean, we're coming up on 35 years of Shadowrun. No reason we couldn't include stuff for that. All right, so there's 5 colors of dice. And, all right, dice are a little disappointing. I mean, they are cast, so you've got, looks like 2 successes, and I'm assuming that's going to be a glitch on all dice, which, I mean, since they're all, yeah, these are all the same. Honestly, you could just use regular dice on these. I mean, maybe different color, but according to Shadowrun RPG rules, successes come on 5s and 6s, and glitches come on 1s. So that's basically the dice here, but that's not an issue. Anyways, the dice are okay. The plastic isn't great. They look kind of like, there was one time I bought a bunch of generic dice for some playtesting that I was involved in, and these are basically that. Nothing fancy, nothing exciting. You know, I'll deal with it. I mean, obviously not much I can do about it, but that is the dice. So these are the components to the base game. There's no slot for these, so you'll just put those there on top. Put your runners back on. All right, before I put this away, let's look at the 5-6 player expansion. So, obviously you are going to need the basic game to play, and my understanding is there are a lot of duplicated components in here. Basically, it says, so including this expansion, the new runner teams and starting runners give different cosmetic options for players when starting the game. To include the remaining components of this expansion with your base game, simply shuffle the runners, missions, and gear cards into their respective decks. The upgrade cards are used during 5 to 6 player setup, as described below. Basically, the 5-6 player cards are duplicates of cards that already exist, but you'll need them for playing with more than 4 players. Other than that, it says, you know, gameplay literally is not changed for 5 and 6 players, and I just realized that was completely out of focus this whole time. I never said I was a pro. All right, I'm just going to stick that over here because I am actually just going to add all of this stuff into that box. So we've got our new components. We've got a few more new yen. We've got figure bases, generic figures, and more dock wagon contracts. Put that over there. We've got new team boards. All right. We've got the Smokers Club. And we've got Bad Karma. All right, so now we've got capability to run 6 different players. And that's it. So basically we've got some cards and a few tokens. I am not going to feel bad about throwing that expansion box away. All right, we've got new mission cards, which appear to be designed, I'm guessing, for players 5 and up. Let's check this. All right, so I'm not sure why that's marked, because it seems to imply that you would only use these missions when you have 5 or 6 players, but the instruction sheet says that you can use them regardless. So probably is not a problem. But again, lots of good Shadowrun art, good Shadowrun names. That looks good. And then the remainder of the cards. Sounder, Koi Dog, Blue Screen, Rigger X, Raimi, Raiden, Bastion, Rao Fang, Kincaid, Breaker, Contrary Mary, Johnny Doe, Cochrane, Gentry, Movus, Tulio, and Osi. More generic equipment cards, similar to the ones we already had. Tailored pheromones. Control rig. Forward Americar. So basically, more 5 and 6 player is more of the same. Honestly, what I would say on that is if you are going to have 5 and 6 players in your group, I would absolutely add it. If you are not, then maybe not. But regardless, I mean, it looks good. I am a fan of Shadowrun in general, so I'm going to absolutely be giving this a try. I try to not read reviews before I do the unboxing, just because I want to come in with a bit more of a blank slate on and just give my initial impressions. Let you know what I think opening the box brand new. So I don't know. It'll be good. All right, I think it'll be good. I'm excited to try it. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at some of these products for Shadowrun. And if you did, make sure to give the video a like. And as I said, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I don't do Shadowrun every week, but I try to come back to it frequently because it absolutely is one of my favorite settings. So I do appreciate the time you gave me today. If you've got any comments, if you want to let me know things I should know about Shadowrun Sprawl Ops before I give it a play, make sure you put it down in the comments below, and we will talk to you next time. Thanks for watching.